Okay, so good morning to everyone. This is our team for contractor. I'm Ikmal Daniel.
My name is Norania.
My name is Jaing.
Okay, so thank you for convening this session as the board of the director of Team Offshore. So our primary goal for today is to ensure we achieve the first gas without any further regulatory delays. So we are here to address the rescue boat requirement or issue. So we are here to clarify the offset that based on the unmanned specification provided in your tender documents on your terms. So this item was never part of our original scope. So nevertheless, in the spirit of strategic partnership and to ensure full compliance with the Marine Department, we are open to discussing about this as a variation order (VO). So we would like to look forward
WhatsApp.
for this
Tengok
meeting.
bagi kat saya je. Saya cakap dulu.
And then, before we dive into the commercial figures, we must address the root cause of this dispute. So we are at this stage today because of a critical omission, which is your silence in the initial project requirements provided by your team for Segali.
So, good morning. We appreciate Kim Offshore efforts to bringing this project to near completion. However, we are deeply concerned by the Department of Maritime Affairs rejection. As this is EPC contract, our expectation was a turnkey solution that is ready for immediate commercial operation. So, based on EPC contract, clause 5.1 general design obligation says that the contractor agreed to check the employer's requirements truly. Since it's your responsibilities, how may we know why didn't you include the South China Sea Maritime Safety Rules in your final design, which leads to the unfinished project?
Okay, so basically, EPC contract, of course, we do this through the EPC contract. So EPC contract are not a blank check. So we build what is in the contract. When the contract is silent about the boat, which is you all did not mention about the boat, and the authorities suddenly ask for it at the last minute, that proves the error come from your client's requirement, and it is not our problem or not our construction error. And then it is also your duty of briefing, and you become negligent for it because as we know, the weakness of this project is due to the client silence, which is your silence, not mentioning about the manned or unmanned terms. You never mention the boat requirement in any briefing or initial document. So this is a form of negligence in giving project instructions. And also, we also do some research based on some cases. One of it is okay. Never mind. Okay. Sorry. I will mention the clause from JCT, which is about error or omissions in employer requirement. So in this clause, it's stated about during the requirement briefing, you were silent about the board requirements. So under this clause, any omissions in your original instruction are not responsibility of our team. So you cannot hide the legal requirements, which is from the Department of the Sea, and expect us to guess what is in your head or what you want. And also, in the clause 3.10 GPT, we build on what you have instructed, which is unmanned system or not using automation punya system. Okay, so it requires a new instruction as we need to change our system from unmanned to man ready. So according to the JCT principle, and any new instruction that correct your previous silence are automatically considered as a variation.
We understand about your concern, but from our side, we still think that it's your responsibility to provide that facility. Under clause 4.1 of the EPC contract, the contractor is responsible for the design, execution, and completion of the work, and must ensure that the facility is fit for its intended purpose and comply with all applicable laws and regulation. Under clause 1.13, compliance with law. place the obligation on the contractor to ensure compliance with all applicable law and regulatory requirements, including those imposed by maritime authorities.
Okay,
Can I
so
add? Can I add something? For clause 5.1, the contractor is responsible for the design of the work and for ensuring compliance with all applicable requirements. So meaning here, the contractor should be know where the boat is not included in the contract tender. So another clause in 5.8, the design error, any omission or inadequacy in the contractor's design must be corrected at the contractor's own cost. So meaning here, contractor cost for this fault by the rescue boat is not in the design in the tender. So must be this fault should be paid by contractors lah.
okay, so based on what we understand here, you are saying that we are experts, so we should know and we should do all the work. Okay, so okay, we are expert in building based on what you ask for. If you did not ask for a boat in the briefing, which is you're being silent about building a boat there, it means you officially stated that the boat was not required for the purpose for this project. So we cannot assume additional cost for tender without your instruction. And then, if you're saying that you did not mention it because you expect we already know, and then expectation is not part of the contract. This EPC contract is built on instruction, and then you are silent means you did not instruct. So, according to the principle of law, silence on material fact in the briefing is a form of negligence. You have built what you asked for. Now you are asking for a new thing, so you have to pay a new price and give us some time to build that thing also.
We are a technical experts, but the mode of operation unmanned, as you stated, is your business decision. We just follow your instruction because, as you said, because as our contractor's obligation, we are follow as per instruction. So the instruction say is unmanned basis. So there is no required for the rescue boat.
And also, we also refer for this one case, which is this case also about discussing the liability of contractors for errors in employer requirements. So the facts for this case is the client made errors in initial design document, which is sent by us, and also us as contractor did not notice and continue this construction. So the court decision was the court ruled that although the contractor is responsible for the design, they are not liable for the omissions that should have been provided by the employer during the briefing phase. So in this issue, during the failure to provide information is your own fault. So we made the design based on the information you provided. The information you keep silent, which is to create a boat rescue, is your responsibility.
May I interrupt? But in clause 5.8 mention that any design error or missing item must be fixed at your expense, which is this is true. Even if we approve your plans earlier, therefore, Kuasa Gali views that the missing facilities as your mistake and your risk because we are hired you as a specialist to complete this project without any issues. So why would we pay you some amount of money as a specialist, but you can't do the project and complete the project without any errors? So
Alright, I understand what you mean. So I really agree that we are the one who design for the building. So but our design is built based on your requirements. So you are the one who set that the unmanned classification. So in our part, the unmanned automatically means like no board is required. So your misclassified your own station is not our design error. So this is a misrepresentation of information in your document. Document. So we based on the FIDIC. In 5.1 is general design obligation. Although this clause states that the contractor is responsible for the design, But there is an exception under subclause B. The employer is responsible for the definition for intended purpose. So the intended purpose means that the employer is also responsible to take the risk of the extra requirement after we sign the tender document. So we receive that the unnamed data as an operational fact from you. So we cannot verify your implied intention to carry out the maintenance. Your failure to state the name ready requirement is the error in data that you have supplied to us.
As you per se, the contractor is responsible for the design for the construct. So why did your party approve the design of the design approval at the percentage of the 30%, 60%, and the 90% levels without commenting on the boat? You already see our design, but there is no boat in the design. So why didn't you acknowledge about it? Why if you felt it was a mandatory requirement from the beginning, why are you silent? You should say at the design approval at the stage of the design, and this proves that the original agree that the station was unmanned, no boat, because you were silent at the briefing requirement of the tender stage, and then you are silent also at the design stage. So this proves that it is an unmanned station. There's no rescue boat required.
We understand about that, but the employer's requirement define the performance and operational outcome expected. It is for the contractor under under turnkey EPC arrangement to determine how those requirements are made and to secure the necessary approval. That means you guys at early of the stage on the design stage, you guys need to uh, also need to prepare when you in at early stage. You guys already know to get approval from maritime party, but why you guys take a late action to get those authority?
So, I think if a facility is 100% unmanned and only controlled remotely, so the regulation does not require a permanent or fixed rescue boat day. The maintenance crew usually comes aboard with a support vessel, so that
Sorry
the
for
regulation has its
interrupt.
own.
Your voice is not clear enough. Can you?
So I raise up my volume. Can you hear now?
Ikmal also kena mungkin dekat depan laptop.
So can you hear now?
Dia kena jerit lah macam.
Okay, so for your answers back, we say that it's a facility is 100% unmanned and only controlled remotely. So the regulation does not require a permanent or fixed rescue boat day. The maintenance crew usually comes aboard with a support vessel, so that already has its own rescue boat.
Okay, so according to International Offshore Safety Guideline, which is the Petronas and Shell also use it to refer, NUI, which is unmanned station, are designed for come and go cruise on the same day. So, for NUI, which is NUI, the minimum safety equipment is usually only life rafts and life buoys. So we don't need to make the actual rescue boat based on what we understand and what we study for these unmanned terms. And then, unmanned stations are designed for minimal intervention. Primary evacuation is by helicopter or boat transfer basket to a standby vessel. So, according to ISO 1991, the unmanned status you have given technically means there is no need for a permanent boat. If you want a permanent boat, that is already a bespoke or an additional specification or an extra. And then a full life boat is considered over specification for station with no permanent occupants based on the industry, OPITO and guidelines for NUIs. So we do based on what we understand for the unmanned, which is we only prepare or give the life buoys and life raft. So the boat is not mandatory for us to construct it.
But from our side, the contractor is the best place to identify and address regulatory requirement, particularly maritime safety obligation during the design stage. Kuasa Gali Berhad rely on the contractor's professional expertise that the proposed design would be compliant and capable of obtaining the necessary operational approval. The absence of a specific facility in the submitted design does not amount to acceptance that such a requirement is unnecessary, particularly where regulatory compliance is concerned. In turnkey EPC contract, the employer's review or acceptance of the design does not transfer responsibility for regulatory compliance to the employer. Kuasa Gali Berhad rely on contractor professional expertise to ensure that design would comply with all applicable maritime safety requirements and obtain the necessary approval. The fact that the rescue boat facility was not identified at the design stage does not mean the employer accept non-compliance, particularly where the safety and regulatory matters are concerned.
While in clause 4.7 EPC Silver Books mention that setting out, which means contractor has responsibility for completeness, correctness or execution and readiness of facility, which means by hook or by crook, you guys have to figure out how to find the safety boot and where to find also. You guys have to be responsible lah for the missing of the safety boat. So because of what? Because we are now losing our revenue for our oil, which leads to our what we call it in time, kehilangan we are kehilangan minyak, because of the
Demand.
delay.
We lost
Yes,
our demand.
demand of our oil because of the delayness. So what do you guys think?
Based on the design. This so did Indonesia pasal
And plus for our side too, employer approval is for coordination. Employer approval is just for coordination and confirmation that design align with commercial objective, not a transfer of technical or regulatory risk.
So the announcement.
this is this is this this is So what they mean is like the design is based on our. So can I ask that is that just now what you mean is the design is based on our side?
Sorry, what?
I'm not sure that just now what you say is the design. You're talking about the design, right?
Yes, about the design, about our approval, just for you guys, just to we call proceed, just proceed with the next phase, but doesn't mean with the upper compliance doesn't mean that the rescue boat facility we need to know that, because you guys just show the design. Okay, the design. Maybe we just expect that you guys already prepared about that. That's why we just approve. We approve just uh for your guys to proceed for the next stage.
Yes, since we aware that you guys are a specialist in this project, so
The boat is under maritime safety regulation, right? The boat safety.
Yeah.
So, meaning that it's a contractor's risk to have the boat while you don't put in the tender document.
Okay, can you repeat what you said? We can't hear you.
So because the maritime safety regulation in the regulation should have the boat. So in the design stage should be there in the document tender.
So they said that.
It's not responsible to.
Design tu.
So,
It's a facility.
So as I mentioned just now, we based on the international marine law. So if the facility is 100% unmanned in your document, so the regulation does not require a permanent rescue boat there. So the maintenance crew usually comes with the support boats. So that already has its own rescue boat. So
and also, what we based on what the contractors can understand, you use the term unmanned negligently. So in maritime, unmanned means there is no fixed boat requirement. So if your attention was to obtain a permit for manned access, you should have dropped the employer's requirement as man ready. So it is your failure, which is your being silenced, to distinguish between these two terms is an error on your part. So you confuse between terms unmanned and man ready. So we build based on your instruction, which is unmanned, which is we don't need to have rescue boat, and then now you are changing it to have a boat. So it is already considered as a new instruction and called as variation order.
You will apply for the initial approval at the stage of the design approval from the Marine Department or the Fire Department. But then you were silent or did not share any initial feedback back then from the authority during the tender phase, as you said that why we didn't submit the drawing during the tender phase. We did, but you were silent because there is no safe boat required in the design. You were silent and you provide the term unmanned, which technically no permanent rescue boat required. And why were you silent like that?
Okay, so we will refer back to the clause 5.1 where the contract is clearly says that the contractor is responsibility for the accuracy of the employer's requirement. So by this mean that Kim Offshore was expected to check the employer's requirement before starting. So in this case, you are responsible for the design and making sure those requirements are accurate. The nature of an EPC arrangement is that we pay a premium for you as the specialist to ensure the facility is fully functional and compliant with all laws. If the maritime regulation require rescue boat for a station 235 kilometer offshore, it was your obligation to identify and include that in your design regardless of any pretender unmanned assumptions. So by means that this is not our responsibility to check uh, either the rescue boat is have to be on the project or not. So it is yours because you are the specialist in this project. So we are hired you to make sure that everything went well and uh, and to make sure that project can be operate as soon as possible. So why would we pay you a ton and amount of money to something that you can solve and to something that you have to blame on us when what we call that when it is not our fault on the first place. So how?
That's true. Plus, our silence during the design stage does not amount to an acceptance of regulatory non-compliance or an assumption of responsibility. Under turnkey EPC contract, the contractor has a positive obligation to identify and comply with all applicable regulatory requirements, not to rely on the employer to point them out. So our reasonably rely on the contractor's expertise as an offshore specialist to ensure that design was compliant with maritime safety requirements. Certain regulatory requirements are only confirmed or enforced at the approval stage, and this does not shift responsibility away from the contractor. In turnkey EPC arrangement, the employer's silence at the design stage does not transfer responsibility or regulatory compliance. The contractor has a positive duty to identify requirements and to engage with the relevant authorities.
All right. Let's look at it from the larger point of contract law. If you claim you were not negligent, then clearly there is a mutual mistake under the section of 21 of the Contract Acts. Alright, so our party understood the unmanned to mean no boat because as you per se, we understand the terms of unmanned. And your party, Kuasa Gali, also issued an unmanned tender, assuming it did not require a permanent boat. So I guess in this case, both parties had misunderstood that the mandatory requirements of the Marine Department at the time. According to the law, when there is a factual error that is material to the agreement, the contract must be rectified to reflect the true reality. This amendment automatically leads to an adjustment of the VO and the time.
So by saying that you guys want EOT lah, extension of time.
We would like to change this case into the VO terms and we would like to claim an EOT.
Intan, proceed.
We can accept the VO and we only can offer a limited amount of extension of time. So maybe we suggest 3 to 6 months only for the extension of time.
Because we have our concern too. We have our own reason why we can't accept your EOT and VO. We have our own interest too, which we are actually we have a limited time right now. That's why we need this project to complete on time.
So I want to ask that what your expected period for us to supply this rescue boat?
3 to 6 months.
6 months.
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. Okay. From our part, we think that that's too much more shorter than we expected.
Sorry, can you repeat again because your voice not clear
So can
again.
you hear now? Okay.
Yep.
Just now you mentioned that 3 to 6 months. You expected us we provide and supply the rescue boat, right? But for our side, we think that it's too short for us to provide that. Because we not just supply, we also need to build for the renew to put the rescue boat either. So it takes a much more period than you think that we need to provide that. Because start from the design stage, the construction, and included testing and handover, our expectation for you to supply the boat is around like 10 to 12 months. That's what we expected that we can provide the boat for you.
Because again, you need to reconsider if you have a boat, then where you need to park it. Okay, so this is our boat, our rescue boat. We did not use any general materials or any rubber or buoy. We're using an aluminium. You need to know there is a design stage to design this boat, and it takes weeks. It can also take months again, you need to reconsider the choosing of the materials, because again, we do this project in the middle of the ocean because we're not offshore. We are 235 kilometers away from the land. So of course, we need a very durable and high potential of the boats. Then you need to reconsider also a David system that we are using it. This took almost months to construct this. We doesn't need to just park the boat inside the offshore places, because again, this boat can durable more to 10 kilograms, and you cannot just put it in there and add a new weight. So we need to build this foundation to park just for the boat, and we need to use the David system, which consists the electrical cable, which consists the crane. So this took months. 3 to 6 months is not negotiable.
Okay, so you are requested for 12 months for a project that is already nearing completion, and 1 year extension seems long. So okay, since we have to look at our issues too, where global oil is high due to geopolitical instability that cause every day of delay is loss of revenue, which means we are lost a lot of money due to the what we call that, due to the extension for your due to your extension for the boat rescue. So by means that on our side we can't lose any other revenue. So why can't we make it shorter, and we will supply you with some what we call that, some manpower or others, other than we extend your extension of time to build the rescue boat. So maybe that will help you guys to make the process of the rescue boat more faster lah, better
If
than
you
12
want it,
months.
if you want it to more faster, then you need to pay more, because the estimated of the 12 months that we give is aligned with the budget that you are budgeting. But if you want a more shorter period, you need to pay more, because again, we doesn't have enough of the skilled worker, because all of them are focusing on this project because you want it as soon as possible. So all of our energy workers are focused on this project. So we also have other projects to handle, so we doesn't have enough skilled worker. But if you wanted to, as you said, to hire more skilled worker, then you need to pay more so that we can hire more skilled worker. But our estimation of 12 months is aligned with your budget. But if you wanted to make it shorter, then you need to pay more, because again, we need to consider of the global supply chain disruption, which increase the lead time for the construction materials. You need to reconsider about the supplier wanted to design the boat, wanted to construct, and wanted to make a testing and shipping back to us. So it takes time. Again, this is not a Shopee delivery where you put it in the flight. This is a boat delivery where you goes in through the ocean. So the ocean is very far away from our place. So it take months, it take weeks. So that's how you can consider it.
Yeah, and in addition, also the process of changing the status from unmanned station to a station with a lifeboat require a reapproval from the technical drawings from a classy society. So this is not a boat installation work like installing car accessories. This involves structural integrity, which takes 12 months. And then technically our supplier is asking for 12 months to guarantee the quality of the materials and the certification from some requirement. And then we can crush this timeline to 8 months, but this involves an expediting fee, which is you need to add more cost, and this cost must be absorbed in the VO we are demanding right now. So we can shorten it to 8 months, but you need to pay a bit more and we need to make agreement in the variation order.
The 8 months is the least that we can give, because if you want a more safety requirement, then we need to consider it the more safety regulation.
And about
What we
cost,
said that before, we can share the maintenance support during the initial operation period. So the access to offshore logistics and the coordination resources we provide, okay? And this can reduce your operational burden. So here we don't want to nego with the price, but we can provide you the practical support.
Can we know
We
how much
just
would you like to give the expenses to us for the cost?
not the expenses. We just provide the additional like manpower shift to just to parallel the work. But all the costs you guys are responsibility for that. We acknowledge that offshore construction involves specialized machinery, materials, and complex logistics. But however, under EPC contract, procurement planning, logistic, and construction methodology form part of contractor's scope and risk. A blanket 12 months extension is not supported by sufficient detail. Any extension must justify based on revised program, critical path impact, and specific mitigation measure. Costs associated with machinery and material required to achieve regulatory compliance falls within the contractor's obligation to deliver a fit for purpose facility. Accepting additional costs would undermine the agreed EPC risk allocation.
So as we understand that you don't want to pay any cost for the like what you just want to give us some supply support, right?
Sorry, what again?
You don't want to pay any expenses, but you would like to support the
Manpower.
Manpower, and may I know what else?
Wait.
Any additional resources that you guys need?
We will support offshore logistic, the facilitate engagement.
Alright, so first thing first, as we understand, this method is an unmanned basis, and then we are changing it to the variation. Any change to the based on the FIDIC clause 30.1, any change to the employer's requirement is considered a variation, because at first you don't want a rescue boat, but now you said you want a rescue boat, so we assume it as the variation order. So the lifeboat request is now a variation by the instruction. You had changed the nature of the work from unmanned to main basis. So, based on Section 71 Contract Acts, if a person does work for another person without intending it to do it for free, and the other party enjoys the benefit, that party must pay just compensation. At least you need to pay for at least the compensation. So you will get the benefit from this lifeboat. Again, of course, you were supporting all the manpower as you said, but you still need to pay the compensation because this had give you the benefit from this lifeboat. The station can operate, but you cannot get this benefit for free. You must pay. It's like we are doing it for free just for you.
Okay,
So
going back
we
to
had proposed to make it as a split claim where we need to claim the VO and the lost expenses. I think this is the most effective way because aligned with the budget and we doesn't need to bring this case into the litigation, adjudication, arbitration of SIPA because again in this proves that you are negligent, you had misstatement. So if you claim it to SIPA, you will pay double as we claim. So there is a very increase your cost. So the split claim of VO and loss expenses is the most effective that we can give it to you. Alright, so first thing first, we require 500K for the only physical boat and installation. And why are we entitled? Because the project was going to be delayed because of your negligence. And then this is also, we're going to include the loss expenses, the remaining balance after the 500K. We're going to claim the remaining balance under the loss expenses. What is our claim under the loss expenses is that the salary of the Kim engineers and crew who had to stand by for an extra 12 months to do this project of the rescue boat. We had operate the skilled workers for this project. And then the insurance of the performance bond also under the loss and expenses that we're going to claim, which is the additional cost to extend the project insurance period. And then the head office overheads, of course, the cost of managing Kim's office that is tied to this project is longer than it should be because we need to focus only for this project and we cannot focus for our others project. Again, you want it as soon as possible. And then the opportunity cost were the loss because Kim cannot take on another project because resources or the human money are tied up here. So So you don't have to wait until you go to the court, okay? We don't want to use any SIPA in here. But if you insist, we know that under SIPA 2012, that any various work that we carry out, the requirements of this permit must be paid at a fair market value. If you are insist on only paying 400K, which is whereas the actual cost, and we will not hesitate to take the remaining 400K to SIPA education as soon as the boat is completed because you are not corporate to give the fees.
Here we are say that we have to accelerate the completeness of this project. So, in terms of program, the employer we actually want 3 to 6 months only because we have measures this mitigation, and because the more delay this project going on, the handover, and we gonna have a more loss on the current oil, and now we have a very high demand on the oil and gas market.
We demand it for 8 months.
Because 3 months is very impossible because this is not a simple things to do in construction because there are some schedule of work that need to be done by creating or building this boat.
We just not like supply and design for the boat only, but also for the foundation, the construction, the revenue to put for the boat also. So just don't think about only the rescue boat, but about the revenue and the foundation that we need to bid for.
This is not a fishing boat.
Because we need to
Okay, we understand about that. But we have our concern too, we have our interest too. We need to this operation can be used timely because this is commercial critical to our side. The energy sector is experiencing new growth, so, like just said just now, and delay will postpone our handover and commissioning. Cause loss of production opportunity and reduced revenue can affect ability to make current market demand, especially amid increased global oil and demand. We also recognize that you guys are newcomer in sorry
This big
newcomer in this
project,
energy industry.
offshore, yeah.
So we are concerned too about your reputation. If us give your if we give you additional cost and extension of time, it can cause a damage reputation to your
Us.
side because you guys make a late decision. Okay, that's why we cannot give you 12 month. We can limit it to just only 3 to 6 months. Okay, and plus we have a handover that we need to commit to.
Then why were you silenced at the beginning of the process? So this has dragged to an EOT project. So you want it as soon as possible, but you didn't acknowledge us at the first place because again you were stated as this project as unmanned. So we understand that unmanned there is no rescue boat, but now you wanted to change it as to main and it becomes the variation order. If you want it to become it as a variation order, there will be a cost expenses and there will be an EOT. So if you want a 3 to 6 months, we're talking about a safe life boat rescue in the middle of ocean. This is not just a general boat as we explained. We need to consider the time estimating for the construct. We need to consider the materials. We are not doing the God's work to do all that. This is based on the supplier. Against we supply the boat and we also construct to park the boat.
Sorry for interrupt.
Alright. So again, this apa tadi apa tadi kau last kau beritahu mana tadi last?
So you expected we
Dia
build
kena
the
sambung yang tadi disakap tu sebab dia nak record.
the boat is like we 6 months, but we don't want to pay any fee, right? Isn't that what you mentioned?
Yep.
Okay.
Because that is your guys' responsibility. Because you guys said that we remain silent during design stage. But why you guys get authorities approval at this stage? You guys should get the approval at the early stage of this project actually. Why you guys take a late action?
But we take action after you mentioned that you require for the boat, right? But at the actual state, you mean is unmade for the part, right?
I don't think so. I didn't. We just give the all responsibility to you guys as this is a turnkey EPC contract. So all the responsibility risk is your responsibility. We just need the this project can what we call apa nama dia Azim boleh beroperasi. I can
Operate.
boleh beroperasi after this project complete. So all the requirement about approval about rescue boat facility is your concern. You guys are
Yes.
newcomer in this industry energy, right?
Yes.
So you guys already know what you guys need, what you guys really have for the approval and so on.
We know you're concerned about the cost exposure, but the time you give it to us is a big loss for us because the post COVID make our market is in the current in high demand.
Alright, so you were just saying that if there is no boat, the offshore still can be function or what? Just now?
No, we didn't say that. Rescue. If we didn't have a rescue boat facility, we still can operate our project. That
Yes.
we said that because of your expertise in this industry, in this energy industry, you guys already know the energy industry mostly located um located located near the sea, at the sea. You guys already know that rescue boat facility is important. But how come you guys miss this information? Yes, we already had a long period in this industry too. But because of we expect that you guys already expertise in this industry, in this kind of project. So we expect that you already know about the rescue boat facility because this is your responsibility, not ours. Because of this is turnkey EPC contract, all the responsibility, all the risk, all the any kind of decision about this project, the important for this project, you guys are the one that take the
Responsible.
action.
Yeah, responsible for all actions
Yes.
because this safety board is in the regulation of the maritime. So it's a contractor's regulation and responsibility to hold the cost for this rescue boat.
Again, you were dragging this point to your silence part, which is yes, you said that we were expertise. Yes, we did. So, based on our expertise, we understand the unmanned basis. There is no requirement of the safe or the rescue boat. We are expert in what you ask for. If you did not ask for a boat in the briefing, which is you are silenced, then you cannot just expect us to build what you are not required because we don't want to we don't want to responsible for unforeseeable change because again we are based on our expertise we did what we asked for based on the requirement. So now the requirement doesn't state it the board and you said that we are expert and you expect us. Expectation is not part of the contract. EPC is contract is built in construction. We are built in based on the requirement. We are built based on your construct. So now you didn't construct and the requirement was silent about the boat and you were stated in the document that it is an unmanned. So, according to the principle of law, that you are silenced on the matter of fact in the briefing of form in negligence. So we have built what you asked for. We did build what you asked for, but except for the boat rescue because you were silenced about it. That's not in the briefing requirements. So we did not build on the based on the requirement. We did not build based on what you did not ask because again we are expert in based on the requirement of the documents. We are expert to build what you asked for.
So you use the term unmade negligently in the tender document. So from in the maritime law, the unmade means that there is no fixed requirement. So if your intention was to obtain a permit for main access, you should have drafted the employer's requirement at the beginning of the initial meeting, at the briefing. So your silence has like distinguished between these two terms is an error from your part for being silent and mentioned that the unnamed in your tender document.
So we understand that it's an unmanned. Of course, there's no one lives here. No one lives here. No one lives here. If you want to make a maintenance, you just need to dive inside it. If you want to make some people visit and maintenance to it, they will bring their own boat. Okay, so that's why I think you also think about the logical part, right? Because again, there is no one lives here. So I think you assume that people will come here, there visiting maintenance, they will bring their own boat. That's why you make it as an unmanned basis. And again, our expertise that we build based on the unmanned basis.
Okay, since you say that you
guys-
are the expert of this project, so we are assume that you already know the maritime regulation that requires boat for a station. So it was your obligation to identify and include that in your design regardless of any pretended unnamed assumption. So since you are the expert, shouldn't you have known about that?
That's true. Then what I mean about the expertise is expertise in this energy industry, not just expertise in construction industry, expertise in energy industry. And you guys know, you guys should know at early stage about this maritime, maritime requirement. Okay. You guys said that you guys expertise and which mean you guys expertise with what client want, with what client need. That's not enough. What you guys mean with expertise, is it expertise in construction industry or energy industry? Which one actually? If you guys are just expertise in construction industry, so you guys need to learn more about this new industry. which is in the energy industry, right?
Offshore.
Also in clause 5.8 in EPC Civil Book
Sorry,
mention that any design errors or missing
Sorry.
item must be fixed at your own
Tak dengar, tak dengar.
expenses.
Tak dengar.
Okay, sorry.
Tak
In
dengar.
clause, serious ah? In clause 5.8 mention that any design errors and or missing item must be fixed at your own expenses. So we will not pay any extra for your work that should have been included in your original lump sum price because it is your mistake to view the missing facilities. And you have to take your own risk lah. So we cannot pay that amount of money for you.
And you guys said that we remain silent at the briefing stage, right? But the project briefing stage is intended to outline the employer's objective and performance requirement only. It's not intended to serve as a complete regulatory checklist or to replace the contractor's regulatory due to diligence.
Okay,
Because
so
all the costs you said is not change the contractual risk allocation under an EPC arrangement or contract. So for us, the negotiation of the price or cost for this project to have the rescue boat, we can accept. We only can accept the time within 3 to 6 months for complete this project.
okay, so as a contractor, we as expert, okay, we understand that we have the duty of care. So, but you as a client also have the duty of disclosure. So you should provide us or write admin for the tender document. You should not put admin without any additional notes about the lifeboat. So your silence has confused for us for the tender cost calculation. So if you make a point at you just require the boat for 3 to 6 months, but you can supply manpower but without any fee. That's too hard for us to do the work because the remedial work is only applies if you build something that is detected or not according to the original drawings. So it's not in our tender document, not in our contract, and it's an extra new requirement for a client. So we definitely need some fee to pay and for materials, all the things. I hope you definitely understand what we require for. So if you guys require for a shorter period, right? But we expected is provide you in 12 months. Since you require for 6 months, so we can try like we do to 6 to 8 months, but you have to pay for us definitely. Because if you require, just you mentioned just now, you require for a faster period, you definitely have to pay more because we put extra more money to faster the supply for you guys. So that's our point for that.
Yeah, that's our initiative to do the VO. But in the terms of to do the VO, you must to compensate with each other. You must to pay at least for the compensation.
At least you must pay the cost for the constructing. You cannot get it for free.
Yeah.
Because we can do it. Okay, we can do it use our own money first, but after we did finish the thing, and if we claim it and you don't want to give it, we can report it to the SIPA, and we still gonna win because education mostly will give wins to the contractor side.
And we don't hope so to do that because maybe we got a future project to do it together. I don't want to reach until like litigation or arbitration. I don't want to do for that. So I hope that we can have a nice and fair discussion. Like I provide what you want and you give me something that what I want either.
We still want to maintain a good relationship between our both of the companies, but again, we don't want to include any litigation because poor to you guys that you need to pay more, double than what we claim. So, and it also can affect our reputation of our relationship, both of us. So this is the fair thing that we can do to you guys. We can consider it at least you ask for the 3 to 6 months. we can at least consider it 7.5 months to operate the boat, but you still need to pay. That is I think that's we can come to the conclusion. So you need to at least pay for it, but we still can give you the times less than 12 months. We still need to try it, but again, you still need to pay because according to the maritime regulation, an unmanned facility does not require permanent lifeboat if the operation is supported by the external vessel. However, because of the silence about how you want to handle the crew there, the marine department has rejected the permitted. So, I think to make it as a conclusion that we can do the boat lesser than 12 months, but you still need to pay at least the compensation.
Because we said earlier that we gonna provide you practical support in the initial period when you construct the or prepare for the rescue boat. We will give you access to logistic, coordination resources and facilitate engagement with the regulatory authorities.
Okay, so means you provide already the staff and everything, but still you need to pay for the materials and for the construction things. You cannot get for free because it is still your own building that you cannot get for free for the services. You can provide your own stuff and everything, but still the boat itself you need to pay yourself. How can we need to pay for your own boat that you're gonna use later? So we have no profit like that. So the minimum at least you can pay is like 500 for the construction materials thing because the boat itself is already expensive because it is very high quality, and then the time taking also will take some long time because we did not create the boat, we only order it from supplier, and then the supplier also have maybe because they are using steel for the boat, maybe they will have some issue for the steel since now the whole world is having a steel issue, which is the price and the quantity maybe not enough. And then from our discounted price, which is like 500 plus, means we already lesser or we already take out our profit and overhead. So this means that we already
Being fair enough.
being fair enough to
You guys.
collaborate for this.
Because again, we are not only wrong side in this case. We both misunderstood.
Yeah.
You misunderstood us being an expertise. We misunderstood you guys' terms of being unmanned. So I think in this case, we both has misrepresentation of both sides. So why don't we take both of responsibility to make this project as good as possible and as fast as possible and as good as quality as possible. So we need to cooperate because again, this is not one-sided. We're in here together. We both wrong. We both misstatement. We both misunderstanding. So we solve it with the both party and the both benefits to each other. So you guys get the project done. We've got our fees. We've got our quality works that can serve to you guys as good as possible, and you can enjoy your project.
And we also remain a good relationship either. We didn't broke any relationship, right? So we supply of what we want and we also get what we want. But what we get, we didn't get any profit. We just for that compensation only.
So maybe we can provide a maintenance for our future work.
Yes.
Maybe we can extend from 1 year maintenance for this construction to 3 years. So this could maintain our relationship and as a binding for us and your team to trust us in the future.
Again, the cost that you will the cost that you will pay for it is not only comes for our one benefit, it comes back to you. You guys still get the benefit.
Yeah,
you get
for
the
the
rescue
future
boat,
also.
you get the high quality, you get the best materials. So it all backs to you.
So about the 8 months of the extension of time, we cannot accept that. So since we value our partnership, can we do 6 months instead? So how about that?
Six.
Till 6 months, but we pay 500.
Okay lah, I think we can agree for the 6 months, but the 6 months is the construction time. But if in future that we will have some other
Unexpected.
unexpected things like the weather or the steel supply or the
Authority
authority
approval.
approval, because it is beyond our control to control this thing. So if that thing will take it longer, so I think we should
Responsible for it.
responsible
By-
for and agree for it and not to blame each other anymore because that are the beyond our control.
Okay,
But
we agree that the 6 months that we can successfully, or maybe we can supply for you the board within the 6 months. But if it is out of the time that you give us for the EOT, we can take the responsible for it. Okay, we take the responsible to take for the
Loss.
for the loss.
But you guys still need to pay 500k for us, and the rest
And
we
also
will
provide the
responsible.
manpower for us. But in 6 months, we agree that we provide for you, but you pay us for 500k and with the manpower. Any other unexpected matters happen, we will take the responsible for it.
So 500k, 6 months with the manpower, and then you will get the best quality construction ever that we can ever give.
And also, if like in future the maintenance, we can provide a longer period for the maintenance. So that's what we can give.
Yeah.
So at least the benefit will come back to you guys. The more longer maintenance, and you doesn't have to pay any further happens at the end of the 6 months. So we will responsible towards it. So 6 months with the 500k and the manpower that you would like to give to us.
And also we give you our 3 years or more than 1 year maintenance in the future. I think this thing can closer our relationship for the future and yeah.
Because this will give a benefit to both of us. Again, we are not only wrong on one-sided party, we both wrong. So I think we need to end it with the both benefits and both responsible towards it.
Okay, so I
So?
understand this. So we both in the wrong
Win-win.
place and we did not understand each other. So
So
I think Kuasa Gali agreed with your option, which is we extend
Yes, it
to
sounds
6
good
months
too for
and
me.
500k for the project. And so how about another
what
Kuasa Gali, what do you think? Do you have to
but
accept this? Do you
but we really hope that this win-win situation approach we want to achieve the regulatory compliance, support timely commissioning, and maintains our cooperative long-term relationship. Okay?
Can.
Yes, it sounds good for me too since we need to speed up this project too. So yes, we can agree that.
So since we agree that we supply you within 6 months, and then you provide us manpower and pay for us for 500k, and any extra unexpected things we suffer, we take responsible and we provide a longer period of maintenance. So both we agree on this option, right?
Yes, I agree. I think I agree with this option because I think it's fair to both of us.
You get the things that you want, and I also get the things I want. So both of us misunderstood the things, and we both get benefit at the end, right?
Yeah. We choose this option because it balances EPC contractual responsibility with the commercial realities and preserve the long-term relationship.
Yeah, so this is very, I think for us, a legal valid claim for both of us to get fair,
Ending
yeah,
fair to both parties.
including about the reputation, our reputation interest, the cost time also. I think we can catch up for 6 months.
As long as we got the 500.
We'll do our best within that 6 months. So what we promise, we will delay. So I hope you do that so for our future relationship lah.
Alright, so
Okay.
Looking
will
forward
end
to more
this
project of you
negotiation
guys. Looking forward for us
session.
to cooperate to each other.
Okay, boleh. So
See you
we
next
can
time.
end this
So,
negotiation
Selamat Hari Raya
session
Maaf
here.
Lahir
We will have a
Batin
longer
untuk
relationship
Yang
in
penting
the next
bayar.
future project.
apa dia?
So
Okay.
since we both
Habis.
agree, so we can end this our discussion lah.
Alright.
Okay, so
Thank you guys
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you for understanding.
I mean you guys
Okay.
Thank you.
salah juga.